Welcome back to the program. Wow, that didn't last very long now, did it? Yesterday on Jeff Creer's show, he asked me point blank, "Hey Josh, do you think this ceasefire is going to last?" And my response was, "Are you kidding me? Iran? A ceasefire? Make it last? Not a chance." And of course, I was correct. Now, granted, they are the ones that are attacking Israelis. They are the ones that are killing civilians. They just killed this poor 18-year-old IDF soldier and his girlfriend and his mother in their home. And they killed a couple of other people as well. They are purposely launching missiles into areas that are filled with people, where Israel has been shooting missiles into areas where they are destroying facilities and locations and military installments. And of course, the people that they are killing are the ones that are the senior commanders and the military scientists and the nuclear scientists and all of those folks as well. But if you really think that this ceasefire is going to last, well, then you don't understand human behavior, which, number one, I'm an expert at recognizing and studying. And you can clearly see the Iranians have so much hate within them that I don't foresee them stopping this at all. I really, truly don't. I think that the lead up right to it, like Trump said, he said that the ceasefire was going to be happening and then it was going to be in a few hours. And so, of course, they shot as many bombs and missiles as they possibly could back and forth against each other. And of course, President Trump was upset. Well, President Trump needs to be careful, because if he's not, this could be his George W. Bush mission accomplished moment. And that's what the left will run with in the midterms. So he's got to be very careful. But at this point, clearly, there's no question that if the ceasefire will be broken, it will be broken for sure by the Iranians in the future. Guaranteed. Okay? Put it in the bank, cash the check. That's what will happen. Now, if you really think that Israel is completely done, I don't think they are. I truly don't, regardless of what they're saying right now on the ground with the ceasefire and everything else. Maybe they are temporarily, until, of course, Iran breaks the ceasefire, which I'm predicting they will in very short order. But they need to finish the job, because right now, I love President Trump. I think he's fantastic. I love what he's been doing. I love how he took out the nuclear facilities. I know there's reports saying that not all of it's been destroyed, and the White House saying that, yes, it was destroyed. Intel from Israel is saying that most of it's been destroyed. I don't know. Bottom line is, at least at this point right now, Israel's no longer in any danger. United States is no longer in any danger. And even the Muslim countries around Iran are actually not in any danger. And remember, the IDF and Mossad didn't just go after the nuclear installations and locations and facilities. They also went after the ballistic missiles as well. And so it's kind of a two-tier shot that they were doing. But I think that once the ceasefire breaks, in however long it's going to take, Israel's not playing around. They need to finish the job. President Trump right now is suffering from premature ceasefire elation, if you want to call it that, okay? Because when you're getting your ass kicked, the last thing you do is allow that person up for some air or some breathing room. And so I don't agree with the ceasefire right now. I think Israel needs to do a hell of a lot more to take out a lot more of these folks and the military commanders and the IRGC and so many other bad actors. And so, again, when you're kicking someone's ass, you don't just stop and brush them off and let them up for air. And that's apparently what President Trump is doing. And I don't know why he's doing it. I mean, I think it's because he's afraid that it's going to hurt him politically, or it's going to hurt his legacy or whatever. I don't know who he's listening to, but he ought to just let Israel continue to do what they're doing. And let's end this threat permanently, not just for 5, 10, 15, whatever years it may be. But I want to play you a recording. This recording is of a Mossad intelligence agent calling a senior commander from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard service and basically telling him, and I'll read it to you because it's all in Hebrew or in Farsi or whatever, so I don't know what they're saying, but it's got the words on it. And he's basically telling them, you have 12 hours to surrender or we're going to kill you and your entire family. So it's really interesting. So here, I'm going to play this. I actually put it on my X account, and I got a thing saying that this post, was against community guidelines, and so therefore the visibility's been restricted, some other garbage. But anyway, so this is a recording of a call between a Israeli Mossad operative and a senior Iranian general. And here is what it says.
Hello, Sardar.
So here, I'm gonna, let's see here. So it just says, hello, Commander Redacted.
Sardar, salam alaikum. Sardar, salam alaikum. Dari?
Can you hear me? Are you there? I'm calling from a country which 2 hours ago sent Salami, Bagheri, and Shamakani to hell. This is what the Mossad agent says.
من از کشوری زنگ میزنم که 2 ساعت پیش سلامی، باقری و شمخانی رو فرستاد جهنم. الان برای تو
And now for you, I'm suggesting you, Senior Iranian General Redacted.
پیشنهاد میکنم. اومد رو خط، بیارش رو خط.
Bring him on the line, it says.
الان صدامو داری؟
Can you hear me now? This is the Mossad agent.
گوش کن. من از کشوری
Listen carefully. I'm calling from a country that I'll explain to you. Listen carefully.
زنگ زنم به توضیح میدم. خوب گوش کن. من از کشوری زنگ زنم که 2 ساعت پیش باقری، سلامی، شمخانی رو دونه دونه فرستاد جهنم. الان تنها پیشنهاد
The only advice I'm giving you right now, I can advise you now, you have 12 hours to escape with your wife and child.
که به تو میکنم هم میتونم بهت پیشنهاد کنم 12 ساعت وقت داری که پاتو بگیری با زن و بچت فرار کنی وگرنه تا الان طولی
Otherwise, you're on our list right now. You, redacted, all of you, one by one, are on the list that I'm looking at right now, and you are our next target.
لیست مایی تو دونه دونه تو لیستی که من دارم نگاه میکنم و هدف بعدی ما هستیم با خاک.
We will hit you, your family, your children, everyone. I only call to tell you, look, as long as there's time.
تو خانوادت بچه‌هات همه رو میزنی. فقط زنگ زدم بهت بگم ببین تا وقتش هست بهت مهلت.
I'll give you a reprieve. Like I said, 12 hours from this very minute that I spoke to you, you have time to escape.
میدم گفتم 12 ساعت از همین الان دقیقه که با صحبت کردم وقت داری فرار کنی وگرنه
If not, you have no one to blame but yourself.
هر چی دیدی از چش خودت دیدی. ما از رگ گردنم به
We're closer to you than our own neck vein. Put this in your head. This is what the Mossad agent
تو
said.
نزدیکتری. اینو خوب بکن تو گوشت. خدا نگهدار.
So then the senior Iranian general says, well, what should I do?
من بهت گفتم
I told you, brother.
من الان قشنگ به تو
I explained to you clearly. The senior Iranian general acts stupid and says, what did you say?
بهت گفتم دیگه.
I told you, didn't I? I gave you a reprieve. This is what the Mossad agent says.
بهت مهلت دادم.
Which places did you take? What place did you take? Senior Iranian general says.
کجا رو گرفتم؟
Where did I take? What do you mean? Israeli intelligence operative says, all of these savages, all of these people.
تمام این خونخوارا، تمام این مثل سلامی و امثالشو فرستادیم همون جایی که باید
We sent them to the same place that we're going to send you.
خیلی زودتر میرفتن. تو هم میخوای یکی از اونا باشی؟
Do you want to be one of them? Do you want to be the next one on the list? Do you also want to destroy your wife and child? The Mossad agent asks.
تو هم میخوای بعدی باشی تو لیست؟ تو هم میخوای زن و بچت رو به فنا بدی؟ خب دارم بهت میگم به پیشنهاد
I'm telling you right now, I gave you a proposal.
دادم. زنگ
He says, say it.
زدم بهت بگم 12 ساعت وقت داری؟
You also have 12 hours, listen to this, to make a public video saying that you have walked away from the Iranian government and the Ayatollah, and we are unwilling to sacrifice, you are unwilling to sacrifice your life for the Ayatollah. This is what the Israeli Mossad agent is making this guy say.
یه فیلم درست کنید ما از این حکومت دست کشیدیم و نمیخوایم جونمون رو قربونی آدمایی کنیم که زدن کشورمون رو 46
You must denounce Ayatollah for the people who he killed and destroyed for 46 years.
سال نابود کردن فقط کشتن فقط دزدیدن فقط
You have to say that the Iranian regime killed and stole and took,
بردن فقط
and they only cut the children of this country into pieces. And then the senior Iranian general says, okay, how should I send it to you?
دیگه کردن من آدرس تلگرام برات
I will send you a telegram ID to send it to, the Iranian or the Israeli intelligence operative says.
میدم بفرست برات میفرستم الان اسمسش
I'll send it to you. I'll SMS it now, Mossad says. The senior Iranian general says, where will you SMS it to?
شماراتو دارم ببین من
The Israeli Mossad says, I have your number. I just called you, didn't I? We have everything on you. It seems you haven't understood what I'm saying.
همه چی تو داریم تو انگار نفهمیدی تو اصلا من معلوم
It's clear you don't even understand where you are right now and how dangerous you are.
من اصلا نمیفهمی کجایی الان دارم بهت میگم
I'm telling you, we will hit all of your leaders. They went into the air. We turned them into powder, the Mossad agent says.
ما سرانتون رو زدیم رفت تو هوا پودرشون کردیم بعد نشستی اینجا فکر میکنی
Now you're sitting here and you think you're talking to me. You thought what you were sitting
حالا داری با
there.
من حرف میزنی فکر کردی که چی اونجا نشستی زنگ زدم دارم
I'm calling to give you a proposal to save your wife and child. You wretch. Are you confused?
پیشنهاد میدم که زن و بچت رو نجات بدی بدبخت منگی
What the senior Iranian general? Well, I'm saying, how should I send it to you?
خب مگه من برات میفرستم
I'm saying I'll send it to you.
با تو
I'm with you. I hear you. And then the call ends. So, obviously, there's a language barrier there, which is why it was so choppy. But basically, they're reaching out to the remaining IRGC senior commanders and basically telling them, hey, if you don't denounce the Ayatollah, you're next. So, there's a psychological war and an assassination war that is still probably going on and happening very on the very quiet, if you will. And they're trying to isolate the Ayatollah as best they can, because although President Trump may say now that regime change is not on the table or not their main concern, I don't think that's really the case, number one. And number two, it certainly looks like maybe from a public standpoint, President Trump is saying that with a wink, wink, and a nod, nod to the Mossad and the IDF and Israel to finish the job. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I wanted to kind of point that out. Now, Here's another one. Wow. Okay. Josh Stradamus strikes again. I just have to say it. When the auto pen scandal broke, if you remember, the first name out of my mouth was Neera Tanden. You probably all remember it. You can go back, scroll through the Substack. I'm sure you'll find a show on the auto pen. You can watch it and you'll go, yep, that's what he said. Well, guess what? Ex-Biden aide Neera Tanden admits under oath to House Oversight Committee that she controlled Joe Biden's auto pen. Ex-Biden official Neera Tanden admitted under oath to the House Oversight Committee during a closed-door testimony on Tuesday that she did indeed control Joe Biden's auto pen. House Oversight Chairman James Comer recently identified 5 Biden aides who were involved in the cover-up of Joe Biden's mental decline and the auto pen scandal. Director of Domestic Policy and Counsel Neera Tanden was brought before the committee on Tuesday and admitted that she was authorized to use Joe Biden's auto pen between October 2021 and May of 2023. Now, why is that so important for the date being May of 2023? How many times have I said when they stole the election in 2020, you had Susan Rice and Valerie Jarrett and Neera Tanden and Jake Sullivan and Anita Dunn and all these leftover Obama radicals. They were running the entire White House. Until when? Until May of 2023. That is when Jill Biden and the Biden family kicked all of them out. And it was President Jill Biden from that point on. I also said that a long time ago as well. According to the Washington Examiner, Neera Tanden testified that she was also authorized to direct the auto pen. However, she denied manipulation or abuse. Oh, sure. A top former aide. Okay, I hate when they repeat the same stupid stuff. Let's see. Neera Tanden, who served as director of the White House Domestic Policy Council, explained in her opening remarks Tuesday that she was given authority to wield the auto pen. She said that she was, quote, responsible for handling the flow of documents to and from the president and was authorized to direct the auto pen. And she used it from October 2021 until May 2023, when she was serving as staff secretary and senior advisor to Joe Biden. Tanden confirmed that during her tenure as White House staff secretary, she oversaw the many documents coming to and from the president's desk, and she noted that her role included authorization to direct auto pen use. As staff secretary, I was responsible for handling the flow of documents to and from the president, she said. I was also authorized to direct that auto pen signatures be affixed to certain categories or documents. We had a system for authorizing the use of the auto pen that I inherited from previous and prior administrations. We employed that same system throughout my tenure as staff secretary. However, Tanden noted that she stopped overseeing the auto pen use after May of 2023 when she became head of the Domestic Policy Council. Yeah, okay, maybe so, but that is an excuse because Joe Biden came in and kicked you and the rest of the radical Obama leftovers out of power. Okay, that's what she's not telling you. The Oversight Project previously pointed out that Tanden was the White House staff secretary when Joe Biden auto-penned pardons from a golf course in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Neera Tanden was a frequent mention in the leaked Podesta emails released by WikiLeaks. Tanden was one of the most vocal Russiagate conspiracy theorists. This is part of the reason why I knew it was her, okay? And I said it point blank right from the beginning. And I said, oh, if there's an auto pen, it's got to be Neera Tanden. Absolutely, 100%. I said it multiple times that it has to be her. And of course, it was. Tanden, again, was one of the Russia conspiracy theorists. She not only attacked Republicans while she was working for Hillary Clinton at the State Department, but she also went so far and went after the throats of Senator Bernie Sanders and his supporters. As a matter of fact, Neera Tanden was responsible for basically pushing the what do you call them? The super delegates, is that what they're called? Super delegates away from Bernie to Hillary and boxing him out of the nomination. Neera's fingerprints all over that. All over that. Earlier this year, the Oversight Project revealed 6 criminals were pardoned by Biden's auto pen on December 30th, 2022, while Biden was vacationing and golfing in St. Croix. Based on Neera Tanden's Tuesday testimony, she was likely behind the Biden auto pen pardons while Biden was golfing in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So here's my question. Why? Why is Neera Tanden admitting to a crime? The only thing I can think of right off the bat, and I don't want to, pee in anyone's Cheerios, is it possible that they worked out a deal that they're not going to prosecute her? If she rolls over on the rest of them, that they will prosecute? Or are they saying, admit that you did this under oath and we're not going to prosecute you? Did she have a lawyer with her? Was this a private deposition? I mean, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered here. I'll do some more digging. But the fact that she would just rightfully admit that she was the auto pen or one of the main auto pens, that makes me seem like there might have been some backdoor deal going on. I hope I'm wrong, obviously, because I want to see these people held accountable. But I don't know. Someone just, yeah, I did it. Absolutely. I'm guilty. I did it. Okay, where's my pardon? I don't know. Something's weird about that. Maybe I'm just, spitballing, and that's not the case. But, gosh, it seems a little weird that she would just rightfully admit under oath instead of saying, I plead the fifth or whatever. Very, very strange. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, she'll be held accountable. Now, Elon Musk. Oh, boy. So, okay, couple things with Elon Musk. One of the reasons that I'm hearing that he was pushed out of his role in the government as a special government employee was due to his radical, and I mean radical, extreme ideology when it comes to transhumanism. Now, the reason I know this is because I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Joe Allen a while back, and he wrote a book called Dark Aeon. You may remember the interview, and it was all about transhumanism. Now, he was just on, I think today or yesterday, Steve Bannon's War Room, and was discussing it. And he said that many people close to President Trump in the administration were very, very worried about his ideology in regards to pushing for robots, drones, AI, transhumanism, all of these things, okay? And I said from the beginning, back in, December of 2024, when Trump was putting together his cabinet, and he said that Elon was going to be joining him with Doge and this and that, and I said back then, I'm worried. I don't trust him. I don't know 100% where his, where he's going to be, where his allegiance lies. And I knew that he was weird with the brain chips and Starlink in people's, whatever that thing is, that Neuralink, not Starlink, Neuralink in people's heads and all this other crazy stuff. So I've always been really kind of weirded out about him. But I figured, maybe, look what he did to X. Look at how he cut the budget. He fired 90% of the people. It's making more money. I figured, all right, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got some very, very, very strange ideas. And I think that was just waning on President Trump, on J.D. Vance, on Scott Bessent, on Lutnick, on really all of them. And they started to see him as not MAGA necessarily. And maybe that dark MAGA thing actually makes a lot more sense now, because there's a dark side to him. There's a dark eon, if you will, to him. And so in a lot of respects, I'm glad that he's gone. Now, why am I bringing him up? Well, because Big Balls has now left the building. That's right. His most famous member, a young kid, 19 years old, named Edward Korestein. He basically was the one that they called Big Balls, and a young kid, was involved in a lot of the Doge activities and different agencies and things like that. He's no longer with the government. Now, this is probably a good thing, okay? And I'll tell you the reason why. I think he was fired. He says he resigned. I think he was fired, okay? And the reason I say that is because I think they're trying to cut ties with anyone involved with Musk. I think they don't trust him. I think that maybe this kid was fine. Maybe he was good. I don't know. But I feel as though they want to reinvent Doge, but in the administration's view, not in Elon Musk's view. So in other words, they still, want to continue to do Doge, but they want to do Doge with people that they know and trust. So that's what I think is happening here. That's why I believe they fired him. They say he resigned, but I'm guessing they probably fired him. Okay? All right. Now, last thing. This is so weird and so strange. I had to check if this was The Onion or the Babylon Bee, but no, it's real. France charges a British man over a staged Disneyland Paris marriage to a child. Okay? That you heard that correctly. France has charged a British citizen with offenses including money laundering, identity theft, and organized a bizarre ceremony at Disneyland Paris where he played the role of a groom in a fake marriage with a 9-year-old girl, according to prosecutors. So sick. He is suspected of hiring the theme park before it opened to the public on Saturday for a staged wedding event. In a contract worth 30,000 euros, I do not know how much that is. It's probably like $10,000 or $15,000 in American money, but I don't really know, I'm guessing. The man, who has not been named or identified, gee, I wonder why. Anybody want to take a guess what ethnicity or religion he might be from? Anybody? So he had a criminal record in the UK for sexual assault offenses and has an additional charge of child endangerment and intimidating a witness. He's also been indicted before that on other corruption charges as well. Wow. Just a fine immigrant. Just a fine immigrant. The incident initially caused grave alarm when staff alerted police that it could have concerned an illegal child marriage with the purported, quote, bride, a 9-year-old Ukrainian girl. It later turned out to have been entirely staged, but authorities immediately launched a criminal investigation. The British man played, quote, the role of the groom after being professionally made up to display a face completely different from his own. The prosecutor for the MEAUX region, I don't know what that is, Jean-Baptiste Badier, told AFP. French judicial authorities were informed by their British counterparts that the man has been convicted in the past, notably for sexual offenses against minors. The man is currently wanted by British authorities for failing to comply with his obligations to register as a sex offender. The authorities have designated a 24-year-old who played the role of the bride's sister at the event as an assisted witness. The prosecutor said investigations showed that the, quote, marriage was in fact a fictitious ceremony intended to be filmed privately. The British suspect was also guilty of recruiting, with the help of this Latvian citizen, the Latvian nationals to ensure the smooth running of this event, as well as around 100 French extras who were falsely presented to Disneyland Paris as, quote, wedding guests, the prosecutor said. The Ukrainian child, who arrived in France 2 days before the event, suffered no violence, either physical nor sexual, thankfully, and was not forced into any type of a child marriage. According to the prosecutor, Disneyland Paris was deceived, with the organizer impersonating this national and using false documents to secure the contract to hire them in the park. The event was scheduled to take place between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. local time, outside public opening hours on the privatized premises at a total cost of 30,000 euros, according to the police report. But Disneyland Paris emphasized in a statement on Sunday that the event had been immediately canceled by its team after the identification of the culprit. But yet, they're refusing to tell us what type of person this was. Gee, I wonder why. Because I think we can probably all, surmise who is interested in marrying 9-year-old girls. And it's those folks that are ruining France. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.